This conference will now be recorded.
Two additions, you can see letter number 7, letter C, and number 8, letter C as well. So possible application for letter C, 7C, 8C, and Bob's going to talk a little bit about the chamber, possibility of the chamber.
Motion to approve the updated agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's passed. Regular meeting minutes from September. There was no October meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular minutes from the September 17th meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion's passed. Financial report and accounts payable.
See, there's nothing really new on this. It hasn't been had before.
My question, do we have, since there was no October meeting, do we have to approve 2 months worth of financials or just one?
So I can bring the.
We'll need September's.
To the next meeting. All right. Miranda was supposed to remind me of that, and did not. Thanks a lot, Miranda.
I'll make a motion, we accept the monthly cash sheet for October 31st.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion's passed. No public hearings. We'll go to old business A, tulip tree marketing.
As you can see, we've got some examples of the marketing that Tulip Tree has put on Facebook. You've seen them yourself through the month of September there, and you see the number of views for each one. And then recently, on our third page of our memorandum here, we have it kind of divided into who's looking at it. So if you go all the way to the end, you can see the different advertisements that they put out. And so in October, I have 3,000 views. What date was this? On that first date, which was the 28th. One net follower, which means they will follow City of Zumbrota all the time. It breaks it down by genders. You can see in this little section here we're looking at. You can see a majority of the people looking at it are women, which is okay. And the ages. And then the lower post here was from October 5th. You can see there were over 7,000 views. And a majority of them were ladies, I would have to say, ladies over the age of 65. But they really do a good job of promoting the city. And our contract will be coming to an end here, I believe, in December with them.
December.
Yeah, the end of December, I believe. So they'll, they're shop the block and they'll do a lot with Christmas and Zumbrota and things like that. But
It was interesting that Connie, just 2 nights ago, I think, said, who's doing this? She didn't know any of the details, and I don't know that they needed to know, but, Zeba, for example, thought maybe somebody from the City Hall was doing it, and she liked it, just didn't know where it was coming from, so. I don't know if it matters, maybe we could have told people, but no big deal.
It's getting the word out better than the billboard did.
I think it is.
I think it would be, yeah.
Well, the billboard is seen by a lot of people, but
Mhm.
what kind of an impact?
Yeah, did they,
Yeah, did they?
did that drive anybody into town?
Okay, a question, so like, it's pretty obvious that like 65 plus women see it. Are they, okay, and again, I don't, are they do a lot of that age, do they come into town and shop? Or do we know? Do you have any
I
idea
think
about?
it's safe to say on weekends, there's a large contingent of, we probably ask Connie this too,
Yeah.
large contingent of women over the age of 65 who do a lot of shopping in Zumbrota.
Then maybe it's touching one of our key groups?
Well, I'm nervous that we're only
Oh.
gaining one follower,
Yeah.
2 followers.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that
Not you.
most of these people are current Zumbrota residents
It's just popping.
that aren't
That's a
necessarily
good point.
new people viewing our page, but people who have always been viewing our page. Since we did not create the specific tourism page. I think it's primarily local
People.
people.
Did they ever consider something like, a lot of times, like you'll see, like I saw a friend of mine, she's a realtor, and they were doing something for Christmas tree. And so she's like, hey, like, share, like it, share it, and then you get into the drawing. Does this group do anything like that? That might be able to get us more followers or more? I mean, I don't know.
If
I
they're,
guess I don't remember them saying that, but I don't remember them not saying it.
if their contract ends in December, do we want them to come to the next meeting? And do we have a meeting in December?
Yeah.
To come to the meeting and just kind of summarize this
Yeah,
in
sure
in
can.
their opinion of
Tulip tree.
the impact and
Yeah, are we similar to other communities that
is
they
it
do
worth
this?
considering continuing? I don't know.
And what was the dollar amount? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that if you want to expand who is seeing it.
Yeah.
Then we should not have posts on our regular Facebook page. I think we should pay for ads. So that based on your interest of things that you looked at on Facebook or talked about out loud, it'll just randomly pop up in your feed. Whereas like I feel like our stuff maybe isn't randomly pushed out as far. Like I see ads on my Facebook all the time, like they'll say sponsored on it, which means that it's not like an actual post, it's randomly put places from on Facebook. And I don't know if this company does that, if they would be that avenue you'd want to go through from that, or.
I thought we were supposed to get a couple of those included in our package.
And
You're right, but it wasn't very many, right?
Right.
And I
think even 2, but
Yeah.
Two?
And if they did those, I mean, they have access to our Facebook page, so I'm not, if they could just show me how to do that.
well, I'm wondering if it's this one with almost 5,000 views and this one with 4,000 views, because the other ones don't even hold a candle to that.
Well, they're all on our Facebook page.
Right, but you can boost specific posts
Right.
Is
to
that,
make them sponsored or,
is that how you do the ads?
I think so. It
Yep.
costs you money to do that.
Sure. Well, I mean, we're paying for these guys to do this.
And I don't know how to tell if it's been boosted though.
Right.
Like you said, maybe
but that would be a good
the
question
hits.
to ask them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have them come to our meeting in December. And I'll send them some questions before that, obviously.
Yeah.
Have we gotten any feedback that it's the city of Zumbrota page and we're promoting a lot of tourism? On the same page as like, hey, remember city water and sewer, you can sign up electronically.
I think the thing that
No feedback?
I think the thing that you have to remember too, and I've seen this in other areas, Habitat uses Facebook. We haven't used Instagram, which is the same company, Meta. Older people tend to follow Facebook. Instagram is more young people, so that may influence who's seeing it more than anything. If we could expand this to Instagram, if you want to appeal to the younger folks, well, it might be helpful, but we can ask that too.
If there's no further discussion, we can move on to part B, update from Couch Trucking.
Yeah, this is from, it was, October, we didn't have, but I spoke to Dennis and Doug, and it just turns out that the land will not work for what they want it for. They spent a lot of money to have it, a plan engineered for them by GQ, by a guy named Jeff Griffin. And it turns out like, if they want to put anything on the, the lot in front of the water filtration, that still needs a water retention pond, even if they put a parking lot for trailers, and that takes up a decent amount of land. So honestly, Dennis or Doug offered $10,000 for that lot. And I didn't mean to laugh, but we're asking $98,000 for it. And he was kind of jokingly, and then Dennis called back and apologized for that. And we let them park those trailers there as kind of a good faith offering to them. And once they found out they couldn't use it, I asked them to remove the trailers, and they did. So the reason why this is not going through is the size of the lot would not work for their plans for that lot.
Remind me, is the west side of that street, if you will, is the same, is that all one lot? Both the west and the east side of the street where the street cuts through it?
No, they're two separate lots.
It's two separate
Yeah.
lots.
And they wanted to buy both. They were
And the
looking-
west side was not big enough.
Right, and after they did it wouldn't work for their operation they want to put in there.
Can we find the, history on that lot? Like who agreed to split it for water filters, and why was there never a retention pond put in the first place?
Well,
Who
there is-
agreed to the easement of a road straight through the lot? Like all of those things that really are just kind of putting us in a really bad spot
Easement.
as the owner of that lot.
Not part of the development agreement. So the easement can be moved. There is we were talking about this earlier, there is a retention pond between the water filtration and the road. So like if water filtration bought that lot, could they just use that water retention pond back there and then maybe rent that out? That's information I don't know on that. But yeah, we looked at that too, because that easement goes right through it. It can be moved because it's not part of the development agreement. I think honestly, it was probably put in because it was just, they bought that lot. It's the easiest way to do it.
Right, but like, how did we come to that? Like, I assume it was one lot at one point in time.
Yeah.
For sale, and then water filters wanted it, but only half of it. So like, was that retention pond on the backside of their property part of this lot? But why would we need two then?
Yeah,
I don't remember. This was before my time on the board.
Why couldn't they use that then for the retention pond?
Yeah, that would be my question. Why, just because that lot would be owned by somebody else, why do they need a separate retention pond?
And I think a lot of it is the flow of the water right now. If it rains on the street side of that lot, there's a good chance that water's not gonna flow all the way to the back. I'm assuming, I don't know. But yeah,
I don't know that the regulations didn't change, just not too many years ago either, where you can't really have any runoff water. You gotta be able to control it.
Mhm.
Maybe it's changed enough where it's a problem. I don't know.
yeah,
It's a mess for us now.
It is, yeah.
I mean, the west side lot, I could see selling that to somebody. How big was that again? 2 acres?
yeah, 2.5 acres.
But that little chunk on the east side of the street is gonna be a problem.
I was hoping they would offer something.
What were they offering, 10,000 for, the whole thing or just the?
Just the water filtration side, just that chunk of land in front of water filtration.
What did we want for the 2.5 acres?
2.5 acres is $180,000. And that one's in.
Maybe it's worth getting rid of it for 10,000. If they'll put a pond on it.
Well, I don't know if
What, clear a bank?
you want birds to be out there or not, but
Yeah, that's a possibility too, is,
if that lot's,
On that small one?
yeah,
They'll still have runoff issues.
doing a swap of some kind with birds, But yeah, it's not as intuitive issue.
As far as your question,
Financing wise, can you
yeah, you,
get away with a low ball, like,
yeah, you could.
we can sell it to them for whatever we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're gonna, the key there is what's the value of the building that's gonna be on there, not necessarily what the land value is. Yeah, from a tax standpoint,
Yeah.
those types of
What is
things.
it about that? Just beneficial for,
You mean the small piece?
yeah, a small chunk.
Well, the point for me is, what else are we gonna do with it? I mean, if water filtration doesn't want it,
Have they said
we're
they
just gonna
don't?
sit on it.
You know, I called them 2 years ago, and was trying to gauge their interest, and they weren't interested at that time, and then maybe I give them a call back and say, hey,
Road has to stay there.
no, the road can be moved. Well, you just need an easement back, you need a way back there.
But if they want that, they would control all of that anyway.
Yeah, they've control.
But
Correct.
if somebody else buys a lot, then they're at the mercy of whoever decides to buy that lot. But they have to give them access back to their property.
Again, the thing is, the land on the farm side, the farm right there,
Mhm.
so that land goes, the EDA land goes into that farm. So there's this big berm here, which you can't really do anything with. So that plays into it as well.
I think one thing that's worth investigating is just what you were saying is, and maybe G cubed, that developer or that engineer, maybe he could help answer that question is, could the existing pond on that acreage where water filtration is be used to satisfy it, even if it was updated and made a little bigger or something? Because it's a property, we gotta figure that out one way or another, because no matter who buys it, we got an issue. So,
And once you find that out, then you can maybe offer it up to water filters and to Couts and say, who wants it, and make a bid.
And Midwest Fabrication's right there too.
just seems to me, if you could get 180 for the 2.5 acres and you could sell the other piece for 10,000 and be done with it. To me, it's, otherwise, we're just gonna sit on it forever.
And what I say, tax. All right.
If there is no other discussion, we will move on to part C, old business, open seat.
We have open seat, and we'll have 2 open seats eventually when Brian's done. And I'm gonna table this because we'll talk about it on letter C on new business, because we got a citizen who put an application in for for Tina's spot. That's all right?
Then let's move on to new business, part A, daycare meeting.
Yeah, we had a pretty exciting meeting with the owner of Mini Me's Childcare in Red Wing. Her name is Sarah Leon. She and her associate came down here Monday morning. Brian and I met her out at the Zumbrota Health Services in the basement. They've been trying to get that into a daycare center. And I've been on the phone with numerous people. I did not call Mini Me's, but she called me saying, hey, he's are trying to get a daycare center. So she's curious about childcare needs in Zumbrota. And so she toured it, really liked it. She toured the old school as well and really liked that as well. And her vision is, if she can get in here, she doesn't really want to rent. She wants to buy a place. So obviously that would be the best for her, but to get started in that spot and then purchase the school and make that into a daycare / preschool for Zumbrota, which it's one of our goals as the EDA is to get a daycare center going in here, which would be very beneficial. We even spoke about, if it's in that spot, it's right across from the high school, PSEO classes where kids could come over there and work for credit. So when they're done with school, if they want to go into childcare, they'll have kind of a head start. So she's spoken to the Realty Growth about the old school building. I revealed to her that we as an EDA have numerous, low interest loans, and we'll do what we can to help her. And she was very receptive to all of it. So I've sent her demographic information. from First Children's Finance. And so we'll kind of wait from there, but it was it was kind of an exciting meeting. And I'm not getting terribly excited because I've had this meeting 3 years ago where I had a group like, yeah, we're coming in there, Kurt. We don't think we need to talk to you anymore. So, okay, great. And then they disappeared, like something happened. So I'll stick with it. Stick with Mini Me. And I like the name, Mini Me. It's like Austin Powers, so that's pretty
Do
cool.
you have any idea the impact of that, the Wanamingo one opening?
And we shared with her that was opening as well. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the impact of that was.
What are the needs in Zumbrota? What do we know about daycare here?
I don't know for sure, but last time the study was done, it was more infant to toddler
Yeah.
than it was because the school,
Beginnings
yep,
really
the
is,
school is.
and they've expanded since.
Three daycare centers will start taking kids at 33 months, including Cougar Care and the school. But yeah, infants well needed. I'm sorry.
What did she say she specializes in?
Well, she does it all. She's infants
Does it all?
up through, yeah. So, and hers is kind of unique as well. She's trying to start a daycare where you don't pay like from 7 in the morning to 4 in the evening every Monday through Friday. If you need to be there on Tuesdays for 4 hours and you're not there Wednesdays, you just pay for those 4 hours. Which sounds crazy to me because,
Mayor, but if she
Yeah,
can pull it off,
but
I
she's-
think she would be hugely successful
Yeah.
because nobody wants to pay for something when you're not there.
So she's doing a Red Wing, and
Yeah.
yeah, so her and her associate, they were, really fired up. Daycare impact, we did a study with First Children's Finance in 2023, and it stated the need for, just like Brian said, for young kids in cribs still.
Yeah, I see she's in Red Wing. She's kind of across from McDonald's behind the Merchants Bank. I don't know anything about them.
And she, and with the growth of, if this whole thing goes on in Pine Island with the data center and thing that they're kind of looking at, we as a city will be affected by that quite greatly because a lot of people will live in Zumbrota and then work in Pine Island. And a lot of people will move out of Pine Island because they just won't want to be around that. So with young families, it'll be well sought after. So keep my fingers crossed and go from there.
No other discussion. We'll move on to part B. Clarence
Good.
Bishkoff.
Clarence Bischoff, you remember in March, I believe Clarence Bischoff had this idea of raising walleye and trout. And I'm just a little hesitant with Clarence because he does have a lot of connections, knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of big investors. His latest investor couldn't make the meeting because he was in the United Arab Emirates for 15 days, which I know a lot of you guys go there. But on Monday, I met with him, Brian, Representative Pam Altendorf was down, and Eric Lohman. So Eric Lohman owns land, you can see on the map on the next page, owns that land, which is up by the cold storage. Yeah, he owns he actually owns all this, but this is the part that's annexed in by the city. So the only part that actually would work for Clarence as of right now is that section annexed by the city.
Okay.
So he's looking.
The shaded area.
Yeah, the shades. And we could annex, that could come into play later. So we met with him. He's got big ideas. So he and Eric went to look at the land, and Eric made an offer, and I think Eric made an offer that was pretty high. Because Clarence, I couldn't believe that offer. I don't know what the offer was, but he still has the possibility of buying a section of that land. So that would create, it's called the aquaculture, hydrophonics, something dealing with water and fish. So a lot of questions are, is it going to cause pollution? Well, the water that they need for this place has to come from a well. They can't use chlorinated water. So one of our ordinances is that you can't, if you're in the city, you have to hook up to city water. So that would be a variance that he would have to go through, if that's a possibility, to get well water. And then maybe the rest of his, like the bathrooms on there could be hooked up to city water. These are, possibilities. He's looking for 25 to 50 acres of land. Like I said, he met with Eric. The price at this point was too high, but he's got numerous investors. And so he'll be back. He's really fired up about Zumbrota. Really fired up about being out there. It's big enough and it's out away from the city. There's not a big smell. I think a lot of people would think that. I think if you go in there, it's probably pretty funky, but it doesn't resonate around the area. There is one, if you remember when we talked about this earlier, there's one in Hickston, Wisconsin.
Is there another property owner that we could direct him to?
Well, they're all
Since
outside
the
the city
price
limits.
Okay, so we want him in city limits or we want him
Well, the only ones that we can deal with
in
are
city
in the
limits?
city limits. Eric has got,
Issue.
so if he could work out with, if he finds land outside the city, and he'll just have to work with the township out there, and that'd be fantastic. But it's a whole thing. I mean, you raise fish, the fish swim and go to the bathroom in the water. They take that water and they throw it on some crops. Crops are used to raise food for the fish. It's interesting.
Is this other one inside of the city limits, or is that out?
It's outside.
It is outside.
Does he own the one in Hickston?
No,
Oh,
he does not. But that's an example of one.
okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
He doesn't.
Oh,
This is what he's starting, his blue water farm.
Yeah.
Walleye, he hasn't yet. And what's unique is a walleye is obviously a predatory fish, so yeah, you can't just feed it fish food. But they know that, I think they're talking mealworms. Yeah.
You can't just take a pinch of flakes and drop it in there for him.
You can put your finger in there and pull out a stump. But he's fired up. Like I said, he had the representative come. Pam Altendorf came from Red Wing, and she didn't know anything about this. And so she was kind of looking around like, what are we talking about? It's like, yeah, but he's fired up. So keep that on your radar. And once I hear anything more about it.
Why does he want to be in the city?
Well, he's talking to us because we direct him towards land in the city. That's why this land here was really the only land in city limits. I don't know if he wants to be in the city. But now he's got a contact with Eric Lohman, so hopefully.
Yeah, they can figure something out.
I know what's annexed, right?
Yeah, so.
He's got all those stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's got plenty of sense to me.
Well, that's why I said,
Yeah.
but like, we can only really help him deal with
Exactly.
city, within city limits.
And I think
So-
he's also looking for help for funding.
That's the key.
He had some issues with that in Red Wing and Cannon Falls, some colleagues of mine. So,
Have you talked to anybody to get some background or?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so he's, like you said, he had a lot of ideas, but there was no funding. He was looking for funding from the community. So if they're outside of city limits, obviously we can't provide any funding.
Okay.
But it was an interesting meeting, that's for sure.
So he's working with Goodhue County EDA then as well.
Yeah.
On to part C.
All right. I think the last page in your packet, we have an application from Victoria Perez, who lives on 1055 East Avenue. And she applied to be on the EDA. I emailed her and said I'd bring her name to the EDA, and I'll be in contact with her later this week. So it says she moved to Zumbrota about 2 years ago, and since I've been looking for meaningful ways to get more involved in the community, make connections, learn how the city grows and thrives, serving the Economic Development Authority Board would be a great opportunity to do that while contributing to something that is directly impacts local business and residents. So I guess my question is, do we bring her to interview, or do we bring her to the next meeting to say, congratulations, you're on the EDA?
What are, her qualifications must not be too high because I got on the committee, but What are the qualifications for
live in the city limits of Zumbrota.
that's it?
I think so, yeah.
Do we look for different, types of backgrounds to help us get a?
Yeah, that'd be great.
person, But we don't have that qualification either.
If we, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of,
Luxury. Yeah, I have nothing against her. I don't even know her, but I'm just wondering.
so I could have her come to the December meeting and just, I could have, a couple questions ready for her. We could give her a very short interview to find out who she is.
Well, if she could give us a short resume, just a little synopsis of her background would be interesting at least.
And then we could,
Can't really say no, can you?
no,
I don't, probably not.
We've got a spot open,
Yeah,
like,
I would say.
say,
we
welcome
should
to the
grab her.
board.
Yeah, I would say we should grab her.
But I think you can still ask for like a brief, background or experience or
Yeah,
something like that. But I think it's a foregone conclusion that,
yeah, she's not competing against anybody for an open seat,
Yep.
so.
Either are we by
Well, it has
the
to be
mayor,
approved. You guys approved it.
by the council.
But I think there's quite a few openings on quite a few boards. I think every board has at least one opening, right?
Really?
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, if this one lady wants to do it.
But I'll tell you, she also applied for park board, so that'll go to park board, so
Oh, so now we're gonna fight
they'll
over.
probably approve her, so.
Yeah, it's like now we're gonna fight over.
Great.
It's like,
We'll apply
Well,
for
does she
that
have a preference as to which one?
also?
I haven't talked to her.
Okay.
Serve on both,
Also, we didn't know if you could or not.
if you can. I don't know.
yeah.
so I'll put up some questions and I'll email and have her answer those, and I can email them to you as a board separately and get an idea, and then I'll just have her come to the next meeting. If that's all right?
We'll anoint her.
Idea of being sworn in.
Yeah.
Just like animal hunts.
Well, she can't be sworn into the council.
That's true. Good point.
Be like January.
And you referred to me being done. My commitment is a few more years on the 12-year commitment.
Because you're done on,
He retired.
I retire from the bank.
but you're gonna stay on the EDA.
I'll stay in the EDA until another candidate.
Technically, you're on.
He'd just like to stay on.
Yeah.
No new
You want to stay on
candidates.
until December 31st of 2028.
See?
That's when you're, and that's when this,
And I must be 29.
Victoria, I didn't bring that with. Victoria, she would last until the same as well, 12/31/28.
We're not, we'll keep advertising. Somebody else wants to.
Okay, well, that's good.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If somebody else is
He's
interested,
not saying he's sticking it out.
I'm not going to leave you hanging.
That's good to hear. So she would take Tina's spot.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll do that. I'll type up a
Tina moved.
little biography or have her type a little biography. And I'll send it to you guys so you can see, and I'll invite her to the next meeting.
We're the meeting her.
Mhm.
Yes, excellent.
Okay, on to reports. Hey, Bridget's Cafe.
So Bridget's retiring at the end of the year. I think she's threatened to retire several times before, but this one's legit. I went and met with her, and one of her workers is looking at taking over the business. I believe her name is Annie. And I gave her my card and information, told her if she needs help from EDA to let us know, because obviously restaurants very important for the city of Zumbrota with our lack of restaurants, so hopefully it'll keep it going. But yeah, she's gonna be done in December, at the end of December.
Okay. Part B, update of KB Apartments.
KB Apartments, as you saw today, if you drove by, they took the ATM machine away. They just backed in the.
Sold it on auction.
Did they really?
They did.
I'm pretty sure because Jake and Stu were joking about bidding on
Was
it.
that who came and got it, or the people that bought it?
It's like, better not.
Is that who came and got it, is the people that bought it?
I would assume like the whole building.
Did you see how they got it that way?
That
I
explains
didn't
so
see-
much more. If it's just the people that bought it that came and took it out,
Yeah,
that explains the whole
Trailer
process.
on,
yeah.
they hooked straps to it, pulled it forward, knocked it on the trailer, took off.
Yeah,
Well, they were
it
in the
was-
street for a half hour.
That explains so much.
That's how they got
That
it.
makes-
I walked by there, what the hell are they
Did
doing?
they pay these people?
It was
to
on
remove
Hooten's,
this?
it was on Hooten's auction.
I hope they don't, I hope they don't train people how to do that on
I wish I would've seen that.
When you go back to work.
You should have videoed it.
He wrapped his strap around it, going up, and he pulled forward. Boom.
Just like you done it before.
Yeah, taking it on an ATM, no big deal.
Oh dear, oh dear.
No, it was unreal.
So, yeah, that's, It was
Demolition
auction.
starts December first, or
Where'd it
they
go?
don't have to get rid of the ATM now.
I thought you guys-
So
It's at your
Um,
place.
I've had a couple people, and I haven't been able to get in front of Kent Bartman, can't remember his first name. Andy, haven't been able to get in front of him to put this bug in his ear, but maybe you can. Some people have said, wouldn't it be neat if there was a time and temperature clock incorporated into the building, the new building, like there was for the bank?
Oh, okay.
So a little,
who bought the thermometer and can it go to the historical society so that we can still get the time and temp?
so
Mounted on the
that would tie.
ATM
I know
building
how
that
they like
was hauled
tie
away,
into
it's
the
gonna be
community.
mounted
That
on.
might be a little nice tie-in if they could do that.
Historical society.
I also mentioned something about the vault door, but I don't know how they would ever use that in their building. So it sounds like that's for sale, so.
Yeah. Free come and get, I guess. You just go.
Oh, really?
Oh, look, I'm
Jeez.
selling food tonight.
In
Nice
there.
plans behind the vaulted door. There you go.
Oh,
Your office door.
yes.
Yeah, so that's getting in the development agreement, Miles has been working on. And is currently still working on that, but demolition, you will start to see demolition, yeah, December 1st, more than the ATM machine. That was just cool how they took that thing out of there.
I've already tried to claim dibs on the 3 trees too, and
Oh, that's
Jake told
right.
me you are not digging those trees out.
They should go up. It's starting to- We can sell it.
No, I'm not gonna sell them, plant them.
Yeah, we could use one of those in our backyard.
Right?
Get a tree spade and
Yeah, dig it right out of there.
Yeah, sure they wouldn't mind.
Okay, that's it on AV apartments.
Yep.
And then on to Bob.
Yep, Bob has some information on the chamber.
Yeah, I guess I want some feedback and try to determine what to do next with this. It's not something I feel like a chamber would be good. How come this echoes so much?
you can slide it away from you a little bit. and probably echoes much.
I think a chamber would be good for Zumbrota and, Cannon Falls, Pine Island, Red Wing, Lake City, they all have chambers. Ziba is stepping back. They're just gonna get back to their roots and they're just gonna have fun with retail downtown instead of having a organized group. But, as I told Kurt, I'm willing to help pursue the chamber thing a little bit if there's interest. And that's the key, is to determine if there's interest, I guess, is the first step. I've talked to Jennifer Byers from the chamber, the Minnesota Chamber. I've reached out to a lady she recommended. Her name is Vicky Studi, who had been a chamber, I guess, leader, but now she runs a consulting group and she's willing to help. Also, the former chamber director up at Cannon Falls went to Northfield and she's now looking for a different position. So she's got time if we need somebody that's got chamber experience to help us. And I guess my question is, are we thinking that it might be worth pursuing and putting some money behind having somebody come in and talk to our businesses and figure out if they're interested. Somebody that knows the business and can explain it to them. You know, a lot of these small chambers, and again, my approach would be, if I could recommend, is just a chamber that is, I guess, who wants to promote Zumbrota, but wants to have fun doing it and not be so rigid that there's something every week. And, you know, it just wears people out. You can't do that. You gotta have it, you gotta make it something that's enjoyable and people like working together and promote the whole community. So it's gotta be done right. Probably would require a part-time director to do it properly. I think a budget of about 80,000 a year is probably what you're looking at, from what I hear. And there's chambers around us that we could learn a lot from. There's no way we want to be like Red Wing. They're just doing amazing things, but they've got a huge group. And Lake City actually has about 2 or 3 employees in their chamber, which is quite surprising. Pine Island, I think, is just a part-time, and Canada is just a part-time person. So, but to me, I do not have the time to spend a lot of time going around talking to people. I've got plenty on my plate, but I think if we wanted to get somebody that knows the business to talk to the folks in Zumbrota and get some feedback and figure out if it's worthwhile, might be, to me, worth pursuing.
Could we, Bob, do you think it would be beneficial to work with Zabel on this? Some Rhoda area business leaders as well?
Well, I'd keep them informed, but I would keep it totally separate personally. I think the chamber has to run its own, the Zumbrota area business leaders, I think, are more interested in investing and helping people get businesses started. Whereas the chamber is going to promote existing businesses and promote hopefully all businesses, but, and Zumbrota in general. I just don't see it being a good combination personally, but maybe other people feel differently.
No, I agree. I think you gotta have some sort of cooperation and communication between the two, but I don't know that.
It's the same with Ziba. Ziba would be, you know, they would join the chamber, but they could still work as a downtown group, doing their little things. And Zayla would be doing their things, and the chamber would hopefully promote it all. But so, and I don't think the dues would be that high for a small town chamber, and there's probably some grants that would be available. But I didn't want to pursue it any further unless we felt we could support it. It may take a few $1,000s just to get a good study done and have somebody go out and beat the bushes and see what people think.
So that was my question too, like, is there like an educational or informational email or letter that could be sent out to businesses about what is a chamber and why we're pursuing it?
I think we could.
To gauge interest.
I have not wanted to go too far until I knew that everybody
Right.
was in agreement.
So then,
Because I don't know if one of these consultants or the gal that used to be in Cannon Falls would do that for us.
maybe somebody
what the
could
cost
talk
would
to
be.
just our board and confirm that that's something we want to go through with.
Mhm.
That's the other question. You said we need funding of about $80,000. And then my question was, well, how much of that is in dues from our
Exactly.
chamber?
That's what we
How
have to
much
learn.
funding do you get from the state or the city for
Right.
a chamber, things like that?
Yep.
Does the city fund the chamber at all? Do they have?
The city can give money to a chamber, is what we decided when we were going through that with Ziba. We cannot give money to Ziba because they are not a state or organization. Am I saying that correctly? But a chamber is recognized by the state, so.
Yeah, they'd become a 501c3 or, no, it's a 501c6 that they would organize as, which I don't know a lot about, but.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So-
would be, great to stick out and get the first step going. And I would happily go out and advertise this to businesses.
Like, can you get those contacts from Bob and then maybe reach out and see if they would be willing to give us 15 minutes of their time at one of our meetings?
EDA meeting.
Just explain how a
I
chamber
could,
works?
yeah, I
How
could
do
call them too and find out if they would be willing to consult too.
Yeah.
You know, and then connect. And I'm
If-
sure,
If there's a cost to that, to having them come talk to us, like,
Right.
is that something that we would have to?
right, that's what I'm
Approve.
thinking, we may, just to get it started, get the ball rolling, we may want to invest some money in it, just to bring somebody in.
If business is interested, it's almost like a lunch. Show up for a.
Because it really,
I mean, we used to do that out at the covered bridge. There used to be large business gatherings from any business owners that wanted to come and eat and mingle and.
yeah, they used to have what we called, it wasn't a chamber of commerce, it was a commercial club when I first came to town, and it was very active. Again, what you have to be careful of, I think, is I think the commercial club did the chicken barbecue, if you remember that way back, and it was on the bridge, when the bridge was out in the park.
Mhm.
I served on it and worked on it, and the problem is, you know, business owners are busy, and, you know, they need help sometimes with working with other businesses, but to get involved in too many things, like a chicken feed, pretty soon they burn out, and you're done. So that's what I think we gotta be careful of going into it, is just set it up right and, you know, let it be organic and take care of itself. But I can reach out to them. I just wanted to make sure there was a little interest in them, that I could connect you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, I'll do that. And we can probably get, I'm sure the Cannon Falls, Maggie up in Cannon Falls would share their budget, and I'm sure the Pine Island people would. Lake City has taken on a little different attitude. It's almost more like Red Wing. They've got 2 or 3 people employed, either part-time or, I don't know, if one of them, I'm sure, is full-time. So they're hitting it pretty hard. So I'm sure they'd share information with us.
This is a little bit cart before the horse, but based on what I expect for attendance at the December meeting, maybe the dollars that we would be investing to renew with the marketing company would be better served to help get a chamber started.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it could be part of the chamber role is to do that work.
Right,
Yeah.
and or, you know, work with that group down the road, once the chamber gets going, to maybe work with that group again to promote it, but at least for now,
Yeah.
you know, because we are in that limited budget, so.
Well, that's all I wanted tonight, is just that feedback, and let's just connect and get some more information and see where it goes then.
Is there anything else? We will adjourn.
I'm gonna go sit at the
The game
bench.
tonight on TV?
I'm gonna go sit on the bench by the old ATM machine and just reminisce.
Yeah, do it. Go figure out who bought the thermometer so we can get it put up somewhere new.
I'm going over to the shop, I know.
Has that been removed?
Grabbed up that
Has that been removed?
You thought they were full.
Really?